Hey guys, it's Jackie and welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I was feeling kind of gray. My whole entire outfit is gray. I'm wearing a gray tank top, gray t-shirt, gray leggings, and so I decided to do this kind of purpley gray makeup look as well. I'm going to be trying out some new products from Pure Cosmetics that they sent over in a PR package not too long ago, so I'm excited to test those out and share with you guys my first impression on them. So go ahead and grab your makeup or grab your snacks, get all comfy, and let's go ahead and get started with this makeup look. So to start off, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows. I'm going to use my Ardell eyebrow pencil. This is just super easy and quick to use, so I'm just going to follow the natural shape of my brows and just slightly darken them and define them. So when I'm filling in my brows, I like to start off by kind of tracing out the border or perimeter of my brow first. So I'll trace out the top and then I will trace out the bottom. Then once I have that, I'll go ahead and fill in everything in the middle, like the sparse areas, if it needs to be filled in, you know what I mean? So that's all I'm going to do for the brows, so now we can move on to the eyes. So for the eyes, I'm first going to use my concealer. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I'm going to use this to conceal my eyebrows and also prime them, so I'm going to cover up any of those like little veins that are showing through the eyelid because the skin on your eyelid is very thin. So I'm going to use the concealer to cover that up, but then right after I'm going to use my Pure Cosmetics 4-in-1 Pressed Mineral Makeup Powder to just set that into place, so that way our eyes are primed and set and then we can move on to eyeshadows. So I'm just taking my brush and just packing that color right onto the lid. This is going to help all the eyeshadows that we apply blend a lot better and easier onto our eyelid, and then it's also going to help with the coloration and like pigmentation of the eyeshadows that we use. So I always feel like prepping your eyelids like this is such a great way to begin your makeup. So Pure Cosmetics sent these PR packages not too long ago. This one is like this cute little diary box and it says Uncover the Beauty, and it has like this magnetic clasp here, and when you open it, it says this diary belongs to Jackie. So it says the Soiree Diaries. I love the marble packaging. It's so pretty, and with the rose gold trimming, oh, I love it. So this is the eyeshadow palette that they came out with. Oh, you got your mirror there and 12 eyeshadows. So it looks like the first 2 rows are matte, and then you have shimmer shadows here at the bottom. I'm excited, and these shades are like right up my alley. These are the shades that I love wearing like on a day-to-day basis. So I'm pretty excited to see how these shadows perform. I think the first shade, I'm just gonna take it on a fluffy brush. I'm gonna take Gala right here and just blend that into the crease. So any type of like nude taupey type of shade, I like starting out with a color like that in my crease. It just gets me like warmed up for the eyeshadow look that we're about to do. So I'm just going to go back and forth with windshield wiper motions to blend this color right here in the crease. I'll even bring it up close towards the brow bone as well. And I'm just going back in a few more times just to see how well this shadow builds in color. I like doing that especially when I'm trying out shadows for the first time. I like to see if you're able to build on the color and like build the pigmentation. So I'm just going to go a few more times and see kind of what we come up with. I'm digging it. I like that transition color. So with another fluffy blending brush, I'm going to take the shade Splurge right here, which is another matte shade. And it's just a deeper, more warm taupe brown shade. So I'm going to take that and blend that into the crease as well. I'm not going to take this color as high as I did with that first shade, but we're going to use this to just deepen up the crease and add that depth and dimension to our eyes. And again, I'm just using windshield wiper motions to achieve this. So I started off by grabbing just a little bit of color, and I'm just going back to build, because it's always better to start with less color and just build on that rather than already having way too much product on your brush and just applying that and then you're just trying to blend everything out, you know what I mean? It's always better to build than apply too much and try to take some away. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the lid color. I'm going to take a flat brush like this and the color Dazzle, which is this like grayish purpley shimmer shade. It looks really, really pretty. So I want to pick that up on my brush and just lay that down onto my lid. Oh, that's so pretty. It's kind of like an eggplant. like a shimmery eggplant color. So I'm just popping this right onto the lid and stopping where we added the crease color. And going back in with my blending brush, I'm just going to blend the edges together so nothing is harsh or anything like that. I want to take this shade right here called Snazzy, which is like a deep, deep brown plum shade. I'm going to take that here on a pencil brush. I'm going to use this to darken and smoke out this eyeshadow look a little bit. So I'm going to keep this color just focus on the outer edge of my eye, so like the outer V part. And what I mean by that is literally making like a sideways V like this on this upper part of our eye. So the point comes together like right here, and we're bringing it into the crease and then down on the lower lash line right there. So I'm just gonna keep going back and adding more of that color right there on this outer part like that. And then I'll also use windshield wiper motions, again, just back and forth like that to blend it all in. I don't know why I find it so like therapeutic to just sit here and take my sweet time and blend out these eyeshadows and just, I don't know, do my makeup in peace without like trying to rush or anything. It's just so calming. Then I'm gonna just take my finger to just kind of clean up the edges like that. I don't do anything too fancy. You could always do the tape method where you put a piece of tape down right here so that your edges are nice and like sharp and clean, but I just use my finger and wipe it away. Now to highlight, I'm going to take this light shade over here called Private Party, and I'm going to use this to highlight my brow bone and also the inner corner of my eye. So I'm just placing that right under my eyebrow like this, and then just sweeping it down like that to blend it in with that transition color that we first applied. I wish there was like a shimmery like highlight color in this palette because there isn't. So I'm just going to take Private Party as well. Pop that right there on the inner corner to brighten up my eyes. This is one of my favorite tricks to do. If you're like working with eyeshadows and they're just a little dark and a little heavy, to avoid it like looking like a black eye or like raccoon eyes or anything like that, always remember to bring in light. So even if you are doing a smoky eye, you still want light there. So inner corner, brow bone, center of the lid, those are kind of the key areas you want to highlight when you're working with darker shades. For the lower lash line, I'm going to take that same Snazzy shade right here, which is that deep, dark brown plummy shade that we used on the outer V of the eye. I'm going to take that and apply that onto the lower lash line. And this is actually the same brush that I used to apply that shimmery lid color, so we are getting a little bit of shimmer on there, just whatever was left over onto the brush, which I think is fine. So for eyeliner, I'm using my fave. This is the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. So I'm just going to use this to line my eyes and create a wing. If you guys want a detailed video on how to get the perfect wing, I will leave a video that I did on my Basic Monday series linked in the cards for you guys to check out. So if you are struggling with a wing liner, definitely go head over to that video and hopefully you'll learn some tips that might help you out. And to just round out the eyes, I'm going to take a black pencil liner. This is from Prestige. It's been my favorite lately. It's just so creamy to use and I love using creamy eyeliners. I'm going to use this to line my waterline. So now I'm going to go ahead and apply mascara and my false lashes. So for mascara, I'm going to use the Ulta Beauty Maximum Lashes Defining and Lengthening Mascara. And I'm just going to apply a few coats of this to my top and bottom lashes, and then we'll move on to falsies. So the lashes I'm going to use are from Bold Face Makeup. These are the I Slayed style. I've already worn these before, so I did have to trim them because they were a little too long for me, but I'm going to go ahead and apply glue to them, let them dry a little bit, and then pop them on, and I will be right back. Ta-da! We are back and we have our lashes on, so now we can work on the face. So I'm going to start off by priming my face with the new Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. It's a primer and moisturizer all in one. So I'm just going to apply this onto my hands. Make sure your hands are clean before you do this. And then I'm just going to evenly apply this all over my face. For foundation, I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Warm Beige. I'm going to mix in a little bit of the Temp 2 BoxyCharm Liquid Glow. This has been my favorite. I mentioned it in my July favorites. I'm going to mix these together and apply it all over my face, and then I'm going to be using my Morphe M439 brush to buff that into the skin. So whatever I have left over on my hand and my brush, I'm just going to tap that onto my cheek area since that's where I like most of the coverage because that's where all of my freckles are. So instead of like buffing it into the skin, I'm just going to tap for this part just to really focus that coverage in this area. Ta-da! I know the skin looks so dewy right now, but we are actually going to embrace that today. I am not going to set my makeup. During the summertime, I just like to stay away from the powders. So I like to embrace the dewiness during summertime. So if you don't like that, if you don't want to embrace the oiliness, if you don't want to embrace the glowy, dewy look, then go ahead and set your face with powder right now. And now I'm going to move into my contour. And the reason I'm not using concealer, just in case you guys are wondering, is because I actually want to use the Cameo contour from Pure Cosmetics. This is a dual-ended contour foundation, and it comes with a sponge and all that kind of stuff. So this is to contour and highlight the skin with, but it says foundation, so I'm thinking there's like going to be some coverage with this. I have used this in the past before and I don't remember it being like full coverage, so that's why I wanted to put my foundation down first and then use this. So I have medium and tan. I'm not quite sure which shade I'm going to be. I've been getting a little darker, but it comes with an awesome little sponge here, but I am going to dampen the sponge because it is like, it's a really hard sponge. So I'm going to soften it up by wetting it and then squeezing out all the excess water so it's nice and damp and a little more bouncy. This is too rough. Here we go, nice and damp. I think I'm going to try the tan one. So it comes with two shades, a lighter shade and a darker shade. So obviously one to highlight, one to contour with. So let's try this out. I know I've used this before, but it's been a while, so I don't really remember my thoughts on it. We're going to put the lighter shade like right under the eyes right here. Okay. I'm making kind of like this weird triangle. I wonder if this was light enough. This is the tan shade. I'm going to go down the center of the nose and then onto the center of the forehead like that. The chin, Cupid's bow. I've always liked highlighting right here. So super creamy product. So far so good. Now I'm going to use the darker side and basically apply that everywhere we didn't apply the highlight or the lighter shade. This is a little orangey looking. Well, nothing's more orange than my hair, so I think we're okay. So I'm going to start by blending the lighter part, and I'm just going to tap this into the skin. Okay, it's not too bad, not too bad. I like that it gives you just like this natural highlight and contour look to the skin. These products are creamy but not too creamy, so you do need to work with them a little bit to blend them out, but I think that's good because I think if a product is too creamy, then it's just going to slip and slide all over the place on your face. And I do think tan was a good shade for me to use. So we blended in the lighter parts. Now I'm going to take the opposite end of my sponge and blend out the darker parts. So you can tell, you gotta work to really blend this baby in. Oh, I'm nervous about this. Oh, no, I think it's good. You just really gotta work at blending this guy in. And I'm using the chiseled side again. I just feel like that's the easiest way to use this sponge. I don't know why. I felt like I wasn't going to like this product, but after blending it out, I actually do. Like, it gives a very natural, like, kind of chiseled, bronzy look to the skin. The bronzer is a little on the orange side, but lucky for me and my warm skin tone, it's flattering. But if you have more of a cool tone, cool undertone, it's definitely gonna look really orangey on you. I feel like warm tones can kind of get away with a little bit of like that orangey bronzer. So it's cool because you don't have to set it with a powder or anything like that. But I do actually have another product here that's contour and highlight. Again, from Pure Cosmetics, they also sent this in a PR package. It says Unlock the Secret, another like diary style packaging. And this says Contour Diaries. This diary belongs to Jackie, it says here at the bottom. So with this look, I would totally leave it like this, but just because I want to try out this product and see how it does, I'm gonna try it out. Oh, again, the super gorgeous marble detailing with the rose gold like trimming. So pretty. Here are the shades in here. They are all matte shades. So again, you're gonna get like that super natural contour and highlight. So again, we've already got our highlight and contour on, but because I want to try out this product, I'm gonna go in with this now. So I'm going to take this middle shade called Passion right here on a kind of fluffy contour brush like this. Actually, it's more of like a fluffy fan brush, to be honest. Ooh, okay, I like it. I like the color. So I'm just gonna slightly contour my face with this guy. So my battery died, so I let it charge, and while it was charging I went and had dinner real quick. So I went away for a little bit, so I kind of forgot what we were talking about last time I was on here, but I'm pretty sure I was contouring. Now for the highlight, these are all matte highlights in here. I'm going to take a mixture of Charm and Dream. I'm going to take a little bit of both of those. And I'm going to apply this everywhere we put the highlight or the lighter shade of the contour stick. So right here under my eyes, I'm just going to tap this in there. For blush, I'm going to take my e.l.f. palette. I'm obsessed with this shade right here. I think it is so perfect and it complements my orange hair, but I just really like this blush color. So I'm going to take that and apply that the apples of my cheeks and blending it back. I really want to add a shimmery highlight, so I'm going to take this Sam Marcel Luxurious highlight palette. It is cruelty free. It has the little bunny and everything. I'm going to take this middle shade at the top called Cream, and I'm just going to dust that on the high part of my cheekbone. This highlight palette, oh baby, I'm just dying over it. Now all that's left is to do the lips, which I'm not even sure. I didn't grab any lip products, so I'm not sure what lip combo to do yet. So I'm going to look at my collection real quick, figure out what I want to do, and I'll be right back. I think I'm going to go with Kylie Cosmetics lip kit in the shade Moon. It's like a gray tone, kind of nude. I think that's what we're going to do. Let's see if I made the right choice. Okay, I'm going to go with it. We are going to go with it. Going back into that highlight powder, I'm going to take the same highlight called Cream that I used on my cheekbones, and I'm going to dust that on the center of my lips. That way it just brings a little more light to our lips because it is such a dark color. So that is pretty much it for this makeup look. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this get ready with me video, trying out some new products, creating this purpley gray makeup look for you guys. If you recreate it, be sure to tag me in your photos so that I can see it and like it and all that good stuff. But that is pretty much it for this video. Thanks for hanging out with me. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!